Joshua, thanks for having us here again. We last spoke in July when you were on the point. Why have you invited us here today?
Well, we're in one of the biggest gold vaults in Asia at the moment. This is one of the vaults we partner with to store our clients' gold. We work with vaults in Singapore and Hong Kong, but this is definitely the center of, I would say, the gold trading activity in Hong Kong.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing the vault later on. It's really great, and we want to see some gold as well. But before we go there, I wanted to ask, we last spoke in July. What have the gold trends been? What's been going on since July?
Okay, so we see more of the same of what we discussed back in July. Prices went up to heights we haven't seen since 2013 in US dollar. Says the trade war, the uncertainties in the Persian Gulf, the ongoing saga of Brexit is all affect the gold price. What we also see is actually in other currencies, gold reached all-time high. For instance, the British pound, all-time high, Australian dollar, and so on. Some currencies actually, gold hit a record high. That's on the, I would say, the price side. On the demand side, we see even more purchases by central banks. So the usual suspect, China is continuing buying every month. Russia is buying a lot. Poland was buying a lot. So we see the central demand by central bank is actually boosting the overall demand in the market.
And I think part of that is a bit of de-dollarization, trying to get out from under the implications of being in US dollars. Is that correct?
Right. So for countries that are, I would say, US adversaries, such as US, China, Turkey at the moment, they see the dollars being weaponized. They see the American government using it to, from anything from trade to immigration, like the US threatened Mexico a while ago. So from them, as part of disconnecting themselves from this leverage by US government, these countries, again, especially China and Russia, they're selling their US bonds, US denominated bonds, and some of it is being converted to gold.
I see. So let's talk about individuals and not central banks. What do you see in this market? Any trends in Hong Kong?
Let's say the general trend now, because prices went up, is we see some clients that have been holding gold for a while are liquidated. They're taking profits. They're they want to take their money out. But we do see a re-entry of the market of new investors. And the reason, again, is same thing as government. They see of the uncertainties. There are no good assets to invest in. I mean, even us in Hong Kong, gold has been doing almost, went up almost 20% year to date. Hang Seng was doing 1.5% this year. So there are not too many good assets, I would say, to invest in. So from an individual perspective, considering again uncertainties, considering low interest rates, negative yield debt, gold seems to be the safe haven. It acts as the safe haven it's always been. So we see renewed demand on this side. Here in Hong Kong, we see interesting things because there is demand for gold because of the political unrest here. But we see the demands for gold being stored elsewhere, and mostly Singapore, the competitor of Hong Kong. So what we see Hong Kong-based clients saying we want to buy gold because it's the right time to buy. There's too much uncertainty, but we will not keep it in Hong Kong at the moment. And we do see clients already keeping gold here. International clients are sending us emails, should we move out or should we keep it in Hong Kong?
Can you quantify how much gold is moving from Hong Kong to Singapore right now?
It's hard to tell because there's no central information on this, but we know that I would say a few $100 million of gold already left Hong Kong to Singapore. That's something we know for sure, and we know there are a lot of preparations for other moves. So even from individual clients, but even from bullion banks, what we think happened is that China diverts the gold importation and doing it from other countries rather than from Hong Kong. Although you asked about individuals, Hong Kong is a gateway also of bullion to China. This status is deteriorating. We see the data, gold export from Hong Kong to China is declining, but we see a sharp increase on export of gold from Australia, for instance, to China.
I see. Interesting. Yeah.
So it seems like, Hong Kong, like I would say any other industry, that at the moment people are having question mark whether they should at the moment use Hong Kong as a place to store their items or as a place for the gateway to China.
Interesting. I want to ask you from an investment perspective, from a portfolio perspective, do you recommend a percentage to your clients? If you have a diversified portfolio, how much would you recommend be in gold?
Okay, so we're not financial advisors, so we don't give actually concrete advice. But if you're looking at what I would say the general wisdom in the wealth management industry is anything between 3 to 10% of one's portfolio should be in gold. And the reason is that actually this component enhance risk-adjusted performance of one's portfolio. So the World Gold Council ran a lot of research on it. They showed that actually having exposure to gold enhanced the performance of the portfolio, and it says between 3 to 10%. Because of gold has at some point negative correlations to the market, especially when they decline sharply. So if you're invested in property and bonds and equity, it's about 90% of your portfolio, and they're losing value. So at least you have 10% that cushions this fall down. So anything between this amount, I can tell you we have clients that actually multimillionaire that put half of their fortunes in gold. But it's interesting because this is not a financial decision, it's more of an emotional decision. And their rationale of these people is say, yes, it's a lot, we're overexposure to gold in a way, but we're not concerned about the security of our investment, about financial instability, because we are fully protected against whatever is about to come.
I see. Now, we really look forward to this journey into the vault, and we're going to go with you into the vault. I just want to ask one thing. Gold is not the only asset stored here. What other things are stored here?
So over here, the vault operator, Malkami, they store, of course, the precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, diamonds, jewelry, fine art. There's a vault dedicated to fine art in this facility.
And I understand that during Art Basel and Art Central, it's really full.
Yeah, it's full, and using a lot of movement here during the jewelry show, the March and September jewelry show. We have clients storing autographs here, rare stamp. We have a client storing 5 million pounds worth of stamps here. So the facility, part of it is climate controlled, and it's tailored for this type of I would say sensitive items or delicate items. But actually everything with value. We have a client the other day asking us to keep the house deed here.
Wow.
Here, just because it's safe and it's waterproof and so on. So actually everything, and that's what we tell our clients. If you want to store, it doesn't have to be gold. You can put in a box your gold, your heirloom jewelry, your diamonds, your expensive watch collection, and so on and so on. That everything can be stored under one roof.
Fantastic. Joshua, thank you very much. We look forward to the tour.
Thank you very much.
We enter the vault past 3-ton doors. The vault is like a warehouse. And we look into the bins. Marco shows me around. Joshua is showing Marco. We have silver coins here, as well as gold bars. And each has its own serial number. It takes 2 keys to open each of the boxes that are taken out. And you see that silver coins are being laid out, counted, and then dispersed on the table by Joshua. He's now putting a gold bar on to weigh it. And you can see the weight on the machine to the right. Very precise calibration, very sensitive equipment. And that is our interesting look at the vault with the gold bars and some silver coins. That's the point for this week. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and we'll be back with another episode shortly.